you're used to giving advice, and then you kind of hit at that cap, and you never realize there was like a hidden potential of if you start listening, you're
of what
going to be
more
able to improve your life skills a lot more.
Anyways, welcome to another episode of the SojuBomb Podcast. Today I am joined by Marvin Square Noodles, Kim Nguyen of Senpai Squad, and of course myself, Anthony Orke.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Gentlemen, how are you guys doing on this lovely Saturday afternoon?
Ooh, I'm doing really good.
Yeah. Hell yeah, bro.
Yep. Feeling refreshed. Got enough sleep, got some food in me. I'm ready to go.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, hell yeah. As a matter of fact, when it comes to what's it called? When it comes to sleep and rest, I know that's been a challenge. I've actually been improving on that since I got my injection last week. So how's your guys' sleep schedule going so far?
Yeah, so I actually missed a day of podcast because it's just so weird. There's just some days that I can't sleep, and you know why? Because too much sleep. I figured that I'm like, dang, there's just certain days that I couldn't sleep because I really just drink three servings of tea each day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was never able to figure it out until I looked back to what I was doing. I'm like, wait, how much caffeine does tea have? Then I looked into it, and it's just 3 servings can really cause your sleeping habits to just drop. And since then, I've only just reduced it to 1, and I've been really, really good since. And I apologize for missing that podcast last Saturday.
That's all good.
Now I'm good. I'm feeling good.
It's totally all good. Well, if anything, I think I guess the tangent off because by missing the podcast last week, you double dipped and were able to double up this week. So if anyone doesn't know, we actually got a special shout out from it. But Marvin was actually one of the premier guests on the Loodle Lounge podcast, hosted by our friend Angie Life. Do you want to tell us about that? Because I logged in, I think like an hour late. But I think I saw the post like a couple days before, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Pretty good,
yeah. So how was it?
So it was kind of great because Angie just brought up the idea. I'm like, hey, this person is doing a podcast, and I kind of want to do the same thing, but with their friend group, right? And I'm like, yeah, that would be a great idea. Just, get everyone to catch up and all that. And then nothing really, I didn't think it would be like a big thing because I thought it would just be like a one-off thing. And it's like, I don't know their format. And I'm like, yeah, that would be fun to join to. And since everyone got really, really excited, so now it's like, this is great. Since everyone's excited, there's a potential for it to be an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Right. So it just came it's very much the same as what happened to our podcast where Anthony was just like, fuck, let's make a podcast.
Let's just start it.
And then, so Angie kind of rallied everyone together. And then now they're creating this amazing thing and hoping that they actually pull through and release the next podcast
do another
episode,
one
because my god, that Loodle Lounge podcast was really, really good.
Yeah,
I feel like
it seemed like you guys had a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, I enjoyed.
Could you explain to me briefly what it is? Because I only skimmed through the post of it.
It's very much so the way our podcast is set up is that we talk about the industry and things that we know about and kind of
it's more focused.
Nurture future entrepreneurs. For them, they just want to hang out. But they just want
literally a lounge.
A lounge. Whatever goes.
Yeah. But I mean, there was some interesting topics that were brought up, and I feel like everyone contributing. Well, first and foremost, fucking Ali Brazil is she's a meme god, dude. She was so fucking funny on that.
Ali,
she kept dropping in her jokes, and I was like, goddamn. and fucking Mizzy, dude. Mizzy is like a roast queen, dude.
There?
She was roasting.
Seriously.
Hella.
Yeah.
Those two, they're like really good conversation holders. Like, they can really keep the conversation going, and that made the podcast really enjoyable because I felt like there was really no down moments, and it was just very organic.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
That's kind of something what I want to aspire to for this podcast to be. And sometimes I don't really have that skill to keep the podcast going, but hopefully like I can develop that too. So that way I can radiate that kind of energy. So that way we can just keep on going for days. That podcast lasted 4.5 hours?
Oh, long as fuck, man.
Yeah. So it's just like,
That's good though.
No, I thought it was 3.5. No, but it ended at 4.5 and we started at 12:30. So 4 hours. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So that was a long time, but I mean, I guess the thing was that there were 6 of them, and
It is a lot, yeah.
Well, that's that streamer life, bro. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these streamers go on like longer than that, if you can imagine.
Yeah, they can do that.
That's what I'm saying,
4
dude.
hours to them is probably nothing.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, it's just a Friday.
Yeah. It's a typical day.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And I love your point as to like kind of their organic energy. And I would say there's no better way for us to experience that on this podcast, other than just by having them on. So, Ali Brazil, Mizzy B, Angie Life, anyone that from the Loodle Lounge that would be down to come on, we'd love to have you. Cause I feel like that's like good ass conversation for sure. And there's definitely stuff that, as they were talking, there was like some background stuff. So, in the chat when I was on the on stream, I was in the chat just trolling. So I think I was talking to Miso Toki, and I was like, "Yo, like, where are the goods? Like, show me some of the pictures of Marvin."
Oh my god!
I was like, FedEx was bad boys over.
Why Miso wasn't part of the Ludo Lounge?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm sure maybe for next time though that'd be super fun. But yeah, pretty much Ali was like fangirling me, so she's like, "Oh my god, look at these pictures of me, Miso." From like way back in the day.
It was great. All of them have their own like that entire group is unique to themselves because it's like Akemi is a really really good like competitive cosplayer.
Yeah,
Angie is a cosplayer / streamer who is actually really back or kind of part of the gaming community as well. So she has that background. Alyssa is a artist and cosplay commissioner. And then Mizzy is strictly
streamer.
She's
model.
Yeah, she's
like
model.
Games.
She's fighting games and she does 3D things, like 3D
Oh, really?
modeling. Yeah, she does 3D modeling. And then Mariah is just overall personality, right? So all of them just like have this big kind of
that's like a broad
scope,
like
yeah.
they have their finger in like every little industry.
So very similar to us, really. But Jesus Christ, they can just talk to their asses off. That was crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I loved your energy, like, because in the chat, Kim, I would recommend that you go back and like watch parts of the video. But like, pretty much like everyone's like, "Yo, how the fuck is Marvin like in this? He's a fucking god." We're like, dude, like, what the hell? Like, I wish I was Marvin right now. Like, there was so much of that. I was like, hell yeah, dude, just because he's hot as fuck, man.
I'm very fortunate to be in the presence of those beautiful ladies.
Yeah, I was like, dude, man, taking notes, man. Whatever you're doing, keep it up because you're doing what's right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, good shit.
People would die to be in my place right now.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm glad you had that experience. So when it comes to you going on that podcast, kind of relative to you being a host on ours, like what did that feel like? Because I saw that you had like some very like I saw you bring on some elements of SojuBomb on there, and I was like, hell yeah! Like when Angie was like, "So how's everyone doing?" And then you were like, "Yeah, wellness check, everybody."
I got that. That's actually one thing that I really wanted to do. I'm just like, damn, I'm gonna channel my inner Anthony right now. But yeah, wellness check. That's actually really good. I feel like everyone's catching on to that. Like, like we should have like a wellness check shirt.
I know. I'd totally be down for shirts, man. Dope. Hell yeah! If you want a shirt, let us know. We'll cop it at SojuBomb merch store.
Oh yeah! Speaking of shirts, look at that.
Yo, I see that.
SojuBomb hoodies.
Yo, what the hell, man? It's happening.
So it's team members only right now. But once people's dude, it looks so dope. It's like,
I love
what
it.
The fuck? Like,
I would wear that shit everywhere.
It just looks like a bunch of symbols, but it's actually like SojuBomb.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And people,
whoever designed this game, fucking amazing.
I know. Oh my god. Yeah, we definitely gotta hit them up again too, because I would love to do like I have some ideas.
More commissions.
And I know I'm not creative enough for that, so we definitely gotta talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell
this
yeah.
is crazy.
That's good shit, man. I know. Yeah. Well, good shit yesterday. Good job. You definitely represented well. That was super cool. I wish I wasn't late on it, because I feel like your guys' energy going into it, I was like, okay. Like you can tell all these girls are like homies, and which was like so dope. That was the number one vibe I got. And I was like, fuck, man. Super jealous right now. Super jelly, not gonna lie, because like they're all super cool and like, you know what I mean? Like the way that they vibe off each other is like super natural. And like what you were saying, you were like, yeah, this is like, if you guys think this is an act, it's not, because this is how they are like in normal life.
All of them are like that in real life. They just kind of bounce off each other.
Yeah. So I thought that was super dope.
They're even crazier in person. Like they were actually like super.
Tone it down.
Tone
it down for the podcast, you know.
Seriously, they had to keep it like really like their energy up to minimum. But because usually when they're all together, there's like a lot of yelling and there's like a lot of like those hysterical laughter, like you know, those laughs that's just so loud.
It's so loud, so obnoxiously loud.
It's like that with them. But
they had to tone it down so you can see, you can actually hear them on the podcast.
Yeah,
trying to talk over each other.
They were, but surprisingly, it ended up working really well. So props to them.
And hella props to them. Shout them out. Follow Angie Life on Twitch. She streams on there. She does most of her gaming content. Yeah, she shouted us out, so you know, go show her some love. As well as her telling us that she because I don't know if I told you this, Marvin, but she actually DM'd me. I think on like the night before, like asking for some advice, and I was like, "Yo, like what the shit?"
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't really feel like I had anything to offer, because I was like, "Bro, like you're a personality in yourself. Like you got this." So I love how prepared she was for it. So shouting her out, much love, keep it going. Yeah, shit. If anything, would love to be on there someday. That'd be super tight.
SojuBomb collab.
Yeah.
What?
All right, so before we get into it, I wanted a quick question, which was hair check. How's your guys' hair in quarantine?
Oh no.
Not bad.
Shut the hell up,
He's looking like a freaking K-pop star. Look at him, bro. It's like mine's too long now.
I know, man, dude. I had to freaking like my sideburns are so long I can tuck it behind my ear now, bro.
I can do that too.
My god, dude! Like while I'm out here looking like a fucking foot, these two motherfuckers is out here looking like K-pop stars and shit.
Look at Kim. Can you highlight Kim right now?
Dude.
Zoom in on his face.
Look at this guy right here.
No, Kim looks good. I love the. Where'd you get your Who dyed your hair?
I know, man.
Shit, it's been like fucking months. I don't even know at this point.
Shit, it still look fresh as shit though, man. What the hell?
Because this was the actual original color, right, of my whole hair dye. So I think it was like blue or purple or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where my hair grew so long that the color is just on the tip of my hair.
Oh, you just got it stripped out?
Wow.
It's been that long.
Jesus Christ, but it looks good. It looks like it's actually dyed like that.
Yeah. It looks like it was done on purpose, so I'm rolling with it.
That's dope.
Hey, save money as well.
Yeah, dude.
That's true.
It looks good, dude. What the fuck?
There used to be a time when I had my hair when it was like blue and then purple and then it faded to blue and then it faded to blonde or gray. So I'm getting all these different colors, and I'm not having to pay like 4 different times,
3 styles in one go.
It's like
God
Kim,
damn. And how long was that? It's lasted months, dude.
Yeah. That's 5 months. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, what the shit. All right, cool. All right, you guys all warmed up. You feeling good? I got a couple topics for us today, if you guys don't mind.
Good, yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool beans. So, on today's episode, so last episode we had our very, very, very first guest. Shout out Richie. Me and Marvin had a lot of fun with him. Man, Kim, I wish you were fucking there, dude. It would have been so fun. Yeah,
Kim had a different kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kim definitely had his own good fun.
Getting too drunk.
Have you recovered from that since, by the way?
Yeah, I have.
Nice, good shit. Yeah, so talking about Richie, it'd been giving me some thoughts as to like how we wanted to get the show going, since one, people are starting to get used to like video conferencing. So like right now we just upgraded our tech. No one's even say tech, but like we're on Discord now doing our group chat. So shout out Discord. Now, whether or not we're gonna make like our own like fan channel, I've actually been thinking about that for quite some time, like logistically, and I kind of wanted to start building that out. So I think after today's recording, I might start building out like the channels and stuff, and then getting maybe like some of our like close friends just to like test it out and see what it's like. Are you guys a part of like any Discords at all by chance?
Yeah, I'm actually part of like multiple servers.
Are you?
Yeah. Well, one of which is Cross Counter. I'm still part of that.
Nice.
So
good shit.
That's actually good. I'm part of the Ludo Lounge now. And then there's this big group back then for the cosplay community. And it's Zentai Ryokai. I'm like freaking probably like butchering that.
Yeah. I'm a part of that too.
Right.
Yeah, but there's so many people. And I'm like, I don't even know who these people are.
So like time to time they just drop. It's like during conventions, back when conventions was happening, they were just hey, meet up here, and then everybody here in this place, and then everyone just shows up and then hangs out. Yeah,
hell yeah, that's what's up.
There's like 7-8 people on right now.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Kim, are you part of any?
Yeah, I'm part of about 10 channels, but I don't really use any of them. I use Discord like once a week just to kind of check up on friends.
Just to see, yeah.
So it's not really like I don't really go on for communities type stuff. It's just to check up on friends. Yeah. And that's about it.
Okay, so can I share my screen? I think I can. Okay, so I'm gonna share.
I'm actually
hang on.
Really like realizing how some like Discord can just really be a big part of building a community, right? So a lot of personalities have their own Discord channels, and I'm like, dang, I feel like Discord is one of those applications where it's just really optimized for gigantic groups, and it's just a giant forum, right?
It gives the opportunity for like the people to connect with their fan base and build a community, as you said, which is pretty awesome. Yeah.
So
I want to get in that.
Yeah, no, I've definitely been so doing this research into like the Twitch space and like and like especially like for influential like pro gamers and shit. I've actually been trying to do some research on like how to best utilize Discord, because it's not just like influencers, like companies and businesses are starting to use it now. Have you guys seen those posts?
I have not. No.
Yeah. So for instance, one of the premier 18 plus like product companies, J-List, they have their own Discord. I don't know if you guys know that. Yeah. So I've got a family one that I'm a part of. Of course, Cross Counter. Yeah, my family made it. So like we share like we mainly share like memes and shit.
It's like music. Group text is out of date. Do use Discord.
Pretty much, yeah. It's hella tight. Let's see. I'm part of Alpha Gaming, so I'm a big fan of Harris Heller. It was because of him I started looking up like copyright free music. So he actually owns, like I can rant up for days about Harris Heller. This guy is a fucking genius. He uses his other platforms to promote his Twitch channel, and how I found him was by like all of his how-tos on how to set up like stuff for production and streaming on his YouTube channel. But he's got a bunch of different like channels on here.
I think I was just on his channel not so long ago because I was helping out Mariah how to set up his camera to live stream. That's how I caught wind of him.
Yeah. So I love his stuff. I actually want to try to reach out to him and his editor, Sam, because they talk about like some really good like content and information. And honestly, like I got one of my ideas for starting my own channel from him. And so I kind of wanted to chat with him a little bit. I'm part of Jake and Bake's Discord. Jake and Bake's an IRL Twitch streamer. Do you guys know who he is?
No, I don't know. No, I don't.
So he was this guy. He's super fluent at Chinese. He lived and he's starting to get like Japanese. He's an IRL streamer based in Japan. I think he's here in the States right now though. But yeah, he's been live streaming like just his life, like walking around Japan for the last like 3-4 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like people who haven't been to Japan before, they want to see it in like a perspective of like a regular person.
Honestly, because he was inspired to do that by Gunrun, who created the IRL stream backpack. And I actually want to see if I can like create those 3 for us, like during like AX. Like I think that'd be fun as fuck.
Oh, that would be dope.
Yeah.
You know how crazy that is?
I'm aware.
Yeah. That'd be super like, fucking dope.
Different perspective on each of our own lives.
Just
Kim is at the booth, I'm like at the photography alley, and then Anthony just doing his hentai
just like
shit.
Fucking doing meetings and hentai and shit like that. Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's see. So yeah, I wanted to drop that idea for you guys because I know that was something I've been meaning to get like situated. Inner Quasar. So this is my boy IQ. He's a musician. He does his stuff on there. We had a hentai con one for internal staff. So like all these like different ones. Yeah, this is like all the different departments that we have. So if you want to know how to create a hentai con, here you go. Yeah. These are all the departments. We never used it though, which is kind of fucking sad. Hentai HQ. Continue. Let's see. So this is where I find this is my homegirl. Oh my god. Hentai Witch. Yeah, this is where like all the fucking. Oh, that's not even it. Like, there's some legit ass like shit on here, dude.
Yeah.
It's like titties and shit.
There's a lot in there. Jesus Christ. But I'm happy that it's actually Well, it seems like you're really well versed with Discord. And that's a good thing.
I'm trying to get the hang of it. Honestly, I go through my boy Lance just to get like a little bit more familiar. Nerd Street Gamer, shit like that. So there's a bunch of different I guess my point being is like I'm trying to learn to be more familiar with it and figure out a way for us to be able to utilize it. Because I know Kim right now you have a Facebook group, right? Where you share like some stuff. I feel like Discord could potentially be like a good home for something like that. And I would love to build something like that for like us and the channel and everything. So
yeah. Also, I was looking at Discord. There's actually a way to record our call. There's a way for us to record it. Yeah, so I'm like, that would be dope.
Yeah, hell yeah. Or if anything, if we end up getting into like the live stream game, maybe we can use this as a chance to like interact with like fans and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Hell yeah. I've actually seen J-List do a couple of their product drops on here. So like what they'll do is they'll shout it out for like people that follow their Discord. So I think they'll do either like it's like a ticketing system where they do like the first 50 orders that use this code on Discord get like this extra thing or like get a discount. So like from a business perspective, I feel like I think it's the future, being able to go straight like from like it's a B2C interaction, business to consumer, like it minimizes the amount of like middlemen so to speak. And it's more a direct way to engage with people. And that's why you see like people that have like community managers for different companies, different esports teams, stuff like that, utilizing Discord to do that shit. So yeah, good stuff. Okay, so before we go on our first break, I wanted to at least bring up the 2 topics and then we can dive into it if that's cool.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So for this episode, I went on like a terrible tangent about Discord.
No, I completely fine with Discord.
Yeah. So the 2 things that we wanted to talk about in this episode, obviously we're in episode 11 of the SojuBomb Podcast. Didn't think we'd make it this far, but we're here. We're energized. We're excited. We want at least for me, like I'm still I'm still pretty energized, from our initial discussion in December of, hey, this joke, to now what it is today, where we have fucking merch. We've got planning our own Discord, fucking
this
who knows what the hell.
Like a lifelong running joke.
Yeah, and it's gonna keep going. It's definitely gonna keep going. We'll see how long we can keep the joke going for. But anyway, so we're on episode 11, and I wanted to bring up two things. The first of which is being 5 months in now doing this podcast consistently. I would say we've been doing a pretty good job being consistent with it. What are the 5 things between the three of us? So 5 things between all of us combined that we've learned in these past 5 months of doing podcasts, right? I felt like this was a good time to bring it up because it's not like we're not like experts. We're not like great at it yet, but I feel like, from this episode compared to our first one, being drunk as shit and Kim passing out on the floor, I feel like we've come a long way.
Yeah,
I feel like so.
Yeah. So I feel like there's definitely a couple good tips and talking points for anyone out there that's willing to do a that wants to start a podcast. And I was actually inspired by this because of Angie Life. When she'd asked me those questions, I was like, like her as an influencer and as somebody that's in the entertainment sphere, like what is the value of wanting to do a podcast? And so obviously our formats are pretty different, but I feel like there's a lot of takeaways and similarities between both models, and I feel like there's a lot to be said for using a podcast model to be able to build a fan base as well as educate. And I'll dive deep into that after the break. So yeah. Hey there, Anthony here. Thanks so much for checking out the SojuBomb Podcast. Check out senpaisquad.net for all your weeb apparel needs.
Anthony, your video was like
so
5 seconds late.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome back, everybody. We had a good break. Marvin, how's your tea?
Oh, it's always so good. My parents just got replenished the stash, so there's a whole assortment of teas again, and I'm so living for it.
Nice. Hey, good job though. You've made it to the second part with still being on your first jar. You normally kill the shit out of it by the first part.
He's not finished yet.
Should always, I'm practicing self-control.
Nice. Hell yeah.
It's just Marvin talking a lot. That's all. Hundreds of people talking.
Which is good. No, that's good. What I'll do is I'll base the types of how many questions I ask Marvin based on how much tea he has.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, I talk. You can tell by how much I talk.
No, that's good. My goal is gonna be to have that glass still full by the end of the podcast. Hell yeah.
I'm just practicing sipping a little less because I don't know what it is about me, but because when I feel like you, Kim, I think all of us have this kind of problem since time whenever we're working, we want to get to our job as quickly as possible. Yeah. So whenever we eat, we just freaking shove the entire food and then boom, we're done. Right? And 5 minutes later, we don't ever need 30-minute break. It's just 5-10 minutes to chow down our food and we're back.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I feel like it has that, and it's it does. I should just relax and set time to just enjoy my meal.
Yeah.
And
I got these bills to pay, baby.
Entire large fries.
Hell yeah, nice.
Yeah.
All right, good shit. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. I don't think everyone wants to hear about our eating habits yet. Maybe we could do a live stream of just us eating in 5 minutes. I'm sure people will want to see that.
Dude. Mukbang podcast episodes.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my
okay,
god.
At least one of these episodes, it'll be a random ass SojuBomb episode, but one of them will just be us eating.
Eating, yeah.
Can we also have our very first studio shot again when we come back as a mukbang episode to just celebrate?
Oh my god,
Let's go.
Yeah,
100% fucking down.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're probably, let's do like 100 wings or something.
Bro, man, dude.
I need 2 wings for me, and that's all, man. And 98 wings is all you guys.
Dude, come on, Kim, you got this.
Okay. I'll get 3. I'm walking 3 wings.
That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, I don't know what you guys are thinking about mukbang, but what I'm thinking about mukbang is I'm gonna like, so you know how the table is an L shape?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about having a fucking chef with a grill in the middle. So,
Oh my
so
God.
he'll be making us fucking Korean barbecue and stir fry and shit,
yes.
and just serving us
Dude,
fucking.
Yeah, they're just like each time, like they're just put plate or food in our
yeah,
plates.
dude.
Yeah.
Like what's it called? Benihana's.
Yeah, there you go.
It'll be funny.
We'll
like
just
he'll
have
be
that.
in the
I'll
way
buy
of the
all the
camera,
meat.
so he'll be like right in front of it and shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, let's get into this shit. Okay, so before the break, we were talking about the 5 things that we've learned from doing this podcast for the last 5 months now. And so it's kind of split up in between us, and we talked about it a little bit during the break. So I guess I'll go first, which is being the production end of things. I guess the areas of my first point that I've learned from doing this podcast in 5 months is you don't know anything. Essentially, like I thought, dude, I've been doing homework and research on like all this podcast stuff for like shit, the better part of like a year and a half now. Shit, almost going on 2 months, 2 years now I think about it. And from taking all the points of stuff that I've learned and notes that I've taken versus execution, like actually doing it, are 2 completely different things. Because I thought I knew like what I was doing, and
but you didn't.
Yeah, and I guess I did a good job like scamming these 2 guys to like spend a day with me to figure it out. But okay, so I guess jokes aside, like honestly, I feel like a lot of the stuff that I've learned in the last like 2 years accelerated just in the last 5 months. So my rate of learning, I would say, has improved a lot because I would have to learn stuff in real time versus before it was all in theory. So like, if I were to have like my own studio setup, or if I were to do like audio recordings, how would I do it? Or if I were to do like interview questions, how would I do it? And I mainly did, I spent a lot of time researching most of the admin stuff. So like behind the scenes stuff, essentially just how to like make the production. And I feel like a lot of those skills have directly translated into a lot of other things. But for instance, whenever I'm editing these episodes and I'm trying to learn like a new skill. So okay, so the guys know the first episode took, I think I told you guys something like 4 whole fucking days. Like, it literally took me 4 24-hour like sessions. Like, and it was spread out, I think, throughout like a week, just to get that first episode down. Like, I just came up with so many errors, like, so much shit. Yeah. And like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, fuck, there's gotta be an easier way to do this. So, I guess from the, my second point, which is, the second thing that I learned really was like really how to edit. Like, I thought I knew how to edit before this, but like, nah. Like, editing like an hour and a half to 2 hour long footage is grueling. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time too, like I genuinely enjoy these conversations with you guys. So it's not all that bad. If all 3 of us were pretty boring and we were like wet rags, like I'm pretty sure I'd blow my brains out. Like I'd be like, oh, I don't feel like editing. But every time I edit an episode right now, I'm pretty excited about it because I have a routine. I know like things that I've improved. Like I've got presets up the yin yang right now. So and a lot of it was really so most of my production week, if you guys get an idea, we tend to record these episodes on Saturday. I normally give myself a break like on Sunday, and then I start like Monday. So between Monday and Tuesday, I work on like doing research on stuff that I want to do to improve. So for instance, right, like the new intros and stuff, some of the transitions, animations, things like that. Which, by the way, how did you guys like that new intro? I decided to change it up a little bit.
Oh, that was dope. I like that.
I really like that one.
And again, that's that's me being that's the most creative you'll ever see me be. Like, I'm not.
That's all we need. That's all we need.
And the thing is what's bugging me now, and I'm sure you guys are similar to this, but I'm the neurotic perfectionist in me is I get a twitch because I'm I can improve that, and then I start I go on an hour-long binge of YouTube videos and looking for different ways to improve our animation and shit like that. Yeah. So I normally give myself all of Monday to do that, to dive into that.
Yeah, because this whole thing is making you have an artist mentality where everything has to be perfection, and it's
pretty much because I know, I guess the reason why that's so important to me is I want to make sure I make us physically look good. You guys already fucking boogie as shit right now, so that's not really the thing. My goal is similar to how Marvin does his shoots and everything. It's to make good looking people look even better.
The best, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to make that a priority to make sure you guys are presentable in the best way possible.
Yeah. Crop us all out. There we go.
No, I gotta make you guys bigger. Hang on.
Treasures project.
I gotta make you guys fucking bigger, but yeah, those are so from a production standpoint, right? That's one of my main priorities is obviously to make you guys look good. And then the second thing too is as much as I say this is an industry podcast, I mean it. And because of that, I feel like that adheres a certain level of quality to the production. Is kind of the first thing. And the second thing is Marvin and Kim and I have sunk a lot of money into this, mainly more so Marvin. Thank you. Hashtag our investor.
Marvin Sugar Daddy.
Yeah. And so Marvin's our sugar daddy.
I love it.
So I just want to make sure that investment is worthwhile. And, obviously us starting this off as I coined the small rinky dink operation as our title. I want to have elements of that, but at the same time too, I do promise you guys that I want to improve our quality over time, and hopefully you guys are seeing me do that. And that's one of the things that I aspire to do for the pod as well as production overall. So that's just me being neurotic. Sorry.
If people can just see your behind the scenes, it'd be nuts how much effort you put into this.
So I don't know if I told you guys, but I actually record some of my work sessions. So what that actually looks like. So as I'm editing and shit, it's pretty crazy. Gnarly.
I want to have kind of when we're all together, I want to see that. What you usually do.
I'll definitely show you guys, as well as some of the I don't know why I'm hella proud of my presets. I'm just sitting here, I was dude, because you don't understand so when we were sharing the Zoom microphone in the very beginning, I shit you not, having that single audio track and going in that 2-hour footage and clicking the fucking pen tool and then going down and then going up and then going down every time each of us spoke was crazy. So having these individual audio tracks now is just copy paste attributes. I'm set.
Easy.
Done.
Nice.
So it's I don't know. So I guess those are the main things that I've learned.
If there are more things that could help you, because since again you're the one who's pretty much doing the majority of the work behind the scene, whatever it is you need that will make your life easier, I'm more than happy to do that, because it's again, it's just the more we optimize our workflow, the better we can produce more content and more podcasts.
We can focus on the actual content itself, or
Yeah, hell yeah.
Instead of worrying about how we're gonna, however long we're gonna take to edit this.
Yeah, true. Well, the thing is we've been optimizing that for the studio. So when we're all together, I think one of the things that threw a wrench into that whole plan was the coronavirus and us being stuck at home, because literally we have to jerry rig for instance Kim's mic setup. I mean the thing is he's got a pretty good setup now compared to before.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like being attached to like boxes and shit.
Right now, it's like I'm kind of doing my best to implement a new thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I took a picture of it, so maybe you can show it because there's a lot of echo going on right now. So they're like, I have these foam mats just covering it. So,
It's okay, nobody sees it.
Yeah. Until we show like the picture.
That it works. Yeah. Hoping that it works.
Yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, I would say as far as like things that I've learned, those would be like my main like couple points. But what about you guys? What I'm really curious about is me being the one kind of more prepared for this kind of thing. Those are kind of my hot takes, but you guys being uninitiated and just me springing in and be like, wow, you guys want to start a podcast? Like where from that point, me being like, yo guys, like let's do this till today, like where do you guys stand as far as areas of improvement for yourselves?
I mean, for me, I've been listening to you talk about all your progress and video editing and audio editing, and it kind of shone some light to how technical it can get. I used to film videos, just basic stuff, but I kind of appreciate all the work that everyone else puts into video, creation, content creation. So that's one thing. I mean, it's not really learning, but it's kind of appreciating the content creators out there with all these technical stuff. So I have learned a lot of stuff from just listening to Anthony talking. But the second thing also is seeing Anthony work with creating the structure of the podcast, the layout of everything. So he's put a lot of thought into creating this to make sure that this podcast flows very well. And looking at the structure of it, it makes sense to incorporate structures like this into other aspects of my life. So just like my business, I feel like this is the structure that I've been missing to make sure everything flows smoothly and as easy as possible. So that's something that I've learned from the podcast and Anthony.
Thanks.
But with the podcast too, it's also communication skills, just the basic stuff. I'm pretty sure we covered this in the previous podcast episode as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
What about you, Marvin?
Which by the way, if you want to check out that communication episode, we'll have it somewhere in the description or pop up as like a card. Because I feel like there was a lot of communication takeaways, just communication skills in general from that. And I love that you brought that up because, it was such an important point for us that we straight up talked about it in an entire episode. So
that was good. Like the communication episid, I highly I feel like we all like highly recommend that episode. And just to add more on like Kim said, like Kim, it's like I just want to put in a little bit more of emphasis on how much Anthony really puts in the work behind the scenes. Like if you guys can just go, like Anthony literally has folders and folders and folders.
Here, let me see if I can bring it up.
Fucking like notes, man. I'm like, this guy like literally breathe. Like if I didn't know who Anthony was, like I would think that whenever he sends us something, it's like he just sleeps, breathes, and fucking eats SojuBomb shit. Like all day.
Literally.
It's like he can literally like type in like 10-page essay on what everything should be, and I think that's absolutely like appreciate the dedication that Anthony has put on so far. And like I just want to take this time in this podcast to just once again like give a big shout out to the homie Anthony for like putting this all together. It's his baby, it's his passion, and as far as anything, it's like even though this is like kind of a group thing in surface, Anthony's really been the person to just kind of like he's the driver of this train. He's the operator. He's the wall. He's the structure of this entire thing. So thank you, Anthony.
But thanks guys for the kind words. I didn't expect that, but sure. Thanks, guys. No, honestly, in all sincerity, I really appreciate it. And again, like it's heartwarming to hear that because a lot of times like as I'm grinding this stuff out like by myself, like literally it's just me listening to music, like editing and shit for like hours on end. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, but again, I really appreciate it. But I guess the takeaway that I want to share with this was, as much as you guys say I'm organized, that's been a long time coming because I've never been this way really for like a lot of my life. And I feel like there's still a lot that I have to improve on. But I kind of want, if you guys are down, you guys want me to like show the folder structure?
Oh god,
bro,
I don't mind.
that's your baby. Show it off, bro.
Okay, can you guys see the screen?
Like right here.
It's like a
So I
newborn.
guess this is for like those type A, like need a folder for everything in life type setup. I can even show, I don't even know if I've shown you guys the hard drive. Do I?
No, dude, I didn't even know there was a hard drive.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, anyways, like with our G Suite stuff. So when we created the emails and the accounts and everything, I decided to start like a shared drive between us. So anytime any of the guys need anything, like any of the resources, it's all on here. So everything I do, anything related to SojuBomb is all on here. So if, let's say, God forbid, anything were to ever happen to me and the lantern needed to be passed on, you can find most of how I do stuff on here. But I have a bunch of different folders from our docs, videos, audio, sources, assets. And our docs have even more docs. So for instance, let's see, I've got our admin docs, audio podcast docs. So every time I create
passwords.
So like here's the script of like everything of how I do stuff. Business docs. I take notes of all of our meetings that we have internally. Conference call meetings. I think I was supposed to do something with that. I don't even know. Episode notes. So every time we have an episode, I started color coding last episode, as you can see. Every time we have like an episode, I always have episode docs for that, I guess.
Those are all get sent beforehand to just put everyone on the same page, and those are actually really, really helpful.
Let's see.
It's good.
Research notes. So every time I discover something new, so like literally how to start a podcast, like in a doc, I took YouTube Academy notes. Let's see. So, and there's like,
people, guys, it's like, it's crazy. Like, just to go back to like Kim's point, it's like, there's just so much technicality. It's not like, it's more than just a couple of people just talking for hours. There's like, I feel like if you want to go with a podcast for consistent, like if you're planning consistent and you're trying to go far with it, I feel like there's a lot of things like planning that you need to do and like structuring in order for it to be successful in the long run.
Well, I should say this too. I don't want to deter anyone because it's like, holy fuck, that's like a lot. Like it didn't start off like that. Obviously, most of that stuff was like gradual. Like I started picking up on that stuff.
Slowly built on.
So I don't want that to intimidate anybody. Obviously, the purposes of this podcast are to inspire people to be able to do this like on their own someday. That's just like, I'm just showing you guys like, and that's just like one of the aspects of how I administratively like organize everything. That's just one of the elements, and a lot of that came from, you know, kind of my time running cons and stuff. But yeah, no, like you definitely don't need that to start a podcast. It's just like kind of, and these guys are starting to see like my standards I have for myself, for how like I want to like execute stuff. And I mainly do, I'm really extensive in making a lot of that stuff to make it easier for both of you guys, right? I told you guys from the very beginning, I'm going to do most of the heavy lifting. I don't want you guys to like, if it's less brain cells for you to think about, like if it just makes it easier for you guys to be a part of this podcast overall, then so be it. Like I'll do all that stuff. And I don't mind. Like it's low key fun and sadistic of myself to do it.
I think because of that, it's because of what you're doing. It's like, it's making this podcast really enjoyable for me. And like, I don't see it as a chore, you know, it's like, and I'm really grateful for that because, I'm not handling the technical aspect of it. And I don't want to, like kind of I feel bad. I feel bad for like that you have to do all that, but I really appreciate it.
No, don't, dude. Yeah, it's and that's the thing. Like I'm willing to put forth the effort. You know, obviously I promised it to you guys in the very beginning, and that's again my commitment from episode 1 to our joking discussion back in December to episode 11 all the way in May of 2020 while being stuck in quarantine. Like it's still the same level of commitment, you know? So
that sounds good.
Yeah, but that's me and Kim so far. Marvin, where do you stand as far as like how you like as some of the things that you've learned starting the podcast?
Yeah, for me, it's very much so that like again, this podcast was when we first started it, it's like the idea that, hey, I feel like we all have a lot to share for people, and then people like, since we've gone through and kind of progressed in our own expertise, that people will be much more like willing to listen to us, right? So somehow, some way, there's like credibility behind our words, and it's like during this, we've been doing this podcast. This is going to be our 11th episode now, and what I realized that podcast is not just about speaking your end. It's really also about listening to people, and especially if it's a group podcast, right? Like each one of us has our own expertise, and be able to just sit down, listen to what people has to say, and in the end, kind of reflect on that and be able to say more positive things and more kind of reinforcing words that will help further progress viewer experiences. And that's one of the main thing that I really learned, is that it's making me, like, again, it's making me sit down, listen properly, and add on to what people has to say. Because like, again, my path in life is just one thing, but having you guys here and be able to have you guys talk about your own path as well and be able to listen to it makes me realize that, wow, like I could be like living 3 paths in life, and I don't even realize that. And that's something that I'm really, really fortunate about, that it's really opening up my mind to different kind of possibilities. And, you know, Anthony's basically technical kind of exploits, if you say, and then Kim's world, where he's really structuring his business in a way that's maximizing his profits and his, you know, overall his fun experience and how he handles clients and how he builds a community. Those are all very much like a different kind of world that is I haven't done before, right? And it's like, it's making me really think about for my future kind of actions, and like, hey, like Kim did this, and perhaps I can implement some of that on how I structure my business. And then with Anthony, it's like, I have my brother who's actually doing my video now. I'm like, oh, Anthony's doing this way. Anthony, with his structure, again, like it probably goes back to what Kim is saying with, you know, how he's learning Anthony's structure. But for me, it's more really like just be able to listen to people's experiences. And that's the main thing. It's not so much, oh my god, I'm like, my camera cut off. But just to finish my point, it's just really about being able to sit down and listen more so than speaking my terms.
Sure. Has that been a challenge for you? Because what I'm wondering is, because whenever you and I have like our own talks, you're always an intuitive listener, naturally. So I feel like, in what aspects of you being a listener have you improved on, you feel?
Well, my background is basically, since I'm the eldest one in me and my siblings. I'm the one who's always have a lot to say in terms of what goes on in the house. And people, my brothers always looked up to me in terms of basically guidance in that sense. So I'm the one who's always offering advice, and kind of carried through in life. Whenever I started working with models, and, you know, I was able to basically bring them to a certain degree of fame or slash following. And it's like throughout my whole life, it's basically me, the one who's giving advices. And I can always listen to people what has to say, but in the end, I never really get to practice and I've never gotten to just sit down and, get experiences from other people, because I've always just done well speaking, giving advices to people. And it's even though I could listen, I'm not a great
active listener. It's like you're used to giving advice, and then you kind of hit that cap, and you never realize there was like a hidden potential of if you start listening, you're
of
going
what
to
more
be able to improve your life skills a lot more.
So
and that's what you're just realizing right now.
It's like, it's one of those things where whenever I need advice, right, I always go to people who basically tells me what I want to hear. And whether that be, it's not just my friend. Like I would go to Gary Vee's podcast and his channel, because what do I need, because I'm having this trouble right now. But then one thing that I'm really lacking on is that I could sit down here with you guys for hours, right? And then only listen to the things that matters right now, when I could really be like, listen to all of it, so that way when it matters later on, I have it in my mind. So that's really what this podcast is teaching me, is that be able to just like take everything as a whole and like don't just pick apart information that you want to hear. That's what it is. And it's just that, because it's like, I respect you guys a lot, both of you, and it's like there's like, I shouldn't, it's like, I feel like if my words are valid, then your guys' words are just as valid as well. So definitely that.
Hell yeah.
And then, aside from speaking stuff, like, again, the basics where, stuttering, like what I'm doing right now, it's really tough.
No, I think you bring up a good point with like when you're in a conversation. I never realized this until you brought it up. Is when I'm in a conversation, I start listening to the things that I'm interested in or want to hear. But then when they start talking about something that I have no idea about, I'll just start zoning out and just thinking about like just random shit. And then it's just like, I mean, it's just I guess how our mind are usually programmed to be. But if we want to have the mindset of always growing and learning new things and picking up new ideas, we have to listen to everything. Whether we like it or not. So that is a very good point that you brought up, and I appreciate you bringing that.
Thank you, because that's what happened like 4 or 5 episodes ago. Like, I should really just listen. I could learn a lot from it.
No, that's a really good point, and I feel like that's where both of you guys, I feel like, have a lot of similarities, because and okay, I guess for context sake, for anybody that's listening, when I proposed the idea of the podcast to the guys, I told them, look, like, I'll do all the heavy lifting, like, you guys just show up. Like, that's it. And I remember Marvin saying, like, holy shit, like, I've never
I can't talk shit either. I miss the podcast.
That's funny as fuck. And so when I bring it back to a point that Marvin had brought up, which is like, holy shit, like, that's kind of crazy to me, because that I've never done that. Like, I've always been and I'm sure Kim feels the same way. He's like, I've been the one that's normally had to like start something. So just to be a part of something where like I just have to be engaged and present is a big deal. And I feel like I guess to sum up what your takeaway is, there is a lot to be said for being present, like, in the moment, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's something that I've been able to absorb from both of you guys, being a type A workaholic, to hanging out with you guys casually, as well as these podcasts, as well as us hanging out even after our recording sessions. Like, You know, I really do mean it when I say like I feel like I'm the lucky one, because the types of conversations and how both of you guys chill when you're just crashing at my house like is super unique and stuff that I've learned a lot from. So as much as you guys say like you know, one of the things that you feel like the podcast has been able to give for you is to be able to absorb and like take in information more openly. Is a big thing, and I feel like each of us has had our own journeys in that, and more so for Marvin to bring it up as something personal to him, kind of is a lot to take in. So I would say this. I feel like I'm rambling, but I guess to sum up our point before the next break, which is these are only our I don't even know how many, if it was even 5, but these are our takeaways for the last 5 months of us doing this podcast. And I feel like as much as we're saying the things that we've learned, I'm sure that like people that have been watching this have hopefully taken away something. My biggest fear is to waste anyone's time. So I would really genuinely like to know, as like someone that listens to this, if there's anything that you've taken away from this, whether that's maybe this episode or maybe a favorite episode from the past or anything in specific that we've done to offer value, you know?
Yes.
So,
and to add on to that, if like there's anything that you guys want us to talk about more and like explore more, like a certain topic, let us know in the comment section below, and then we'd love to like put that in the future episodes.
If this is the type of stuff that you like, let us know. You can either leave comments anywhere, DM us, hit us up in our email, mailtime@SojuBomb.tv, send us packages, all that kind of shit. If you want to follow us each individually in our companies, everything's in the description.
We should have a wish list.
You think? I was actually thinking about that, like an Amazon wish list.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like I have an Amazon Prime. We can just do a wish list, and then people can just be like, this is what we want. Just send it over.
Yeah, shit. Yeah. Actually, there's definitely some stuff that I'm sure we need. I'm sure you're fucking sick and tired of seeing Sabacon and HentaiCon in the background. So if you want to send us cool shit, please send us stuff.
Yeah, decorations.
Or if you want to see more hentai stuff.
We need. I
don't know if we can show it, but whatever.
Sure.
All right. Anyways, that's a wrap. We appreciate everyone for listening. Thanks so much for sticking around. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
All right.
See you guys.
Yep.
Bye.